I guess. Alright, where are the patch notes? Patch notes are over there. Alright, boys. Bel'Veth descends up on the rift. Oh, yes, baby. Fantastic. The numbers are in, and they're freaking broken. Oh, never mind. Champions are now more durable. Yeah, great. After the sweeping changes we introduced in the last patch, this week we're on cleanup duty to restore balance to the rift. Two big things to keep in mind here. First of all, we don't want to over-nerf buff any champions as an immediate response to the durability update. We're avoiding this by considering each champ's individual strengths and weaknesses relative to their overall class role balance and preferred itemization choices. Hey, so Nasus will get buffs, right? Since we don't feel any tank here, and we do less damage, and we heal for less also, we're going to get buffed, right? Yay, let's go! I can't wait to see what buffs Nasus received. Let's find out. We're avoiding this okay. Second, sorry, excuse me. Healing and shielding nerfs were done across the board. They ended up affecting some champs more than the others. For example, Nasus. This round we're going through champs individually and returning heal and shielding power where needed, or reinvesting that lost power into other aspects of their kit. I can't wait to see how many buffs Nasus received this patch. Hey, let's go. In other news, we also have the brand new Ocean Song of... Okay, I don't give a freaking shit about that. Alright, so Aphelios. Aphelios 200 years buffs. More lethality, which I don't really care too much about, and more bonus attack speed. Honestly, these buffs don't look super overwhelming, but we might have 200 year meta again. We'll see. Brand, please tell me that they nerfed him. Okay, nice. Percent damage 2.5, and okay, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, the percent damage is something that should get nerfed across the board with what they did to HP last patch and stuff. Percent damage should be nerfed for a lot of champions. Kayn, for example, red Kayn for sure. Caitlyn Buffs. I don't care too much, although Caitlyn is a hard champion to deal with for Nasus. She has escape plus traps that she places on top of her, so like it's, you know, when she has a good support, it's freaking impossible to get to her. So Caitlyn meta doesn't necessarily good for us, but we'll see what's gonna happen. Fizz, health growth decreased, mana growth increased. Okay, so he got his health. He had 2,500 health on level 18. Dude. Health nerfed a little bit, so he lost 100 health late game, but he has freaking infinite mana now. Fantastic. Keeping his head above water, but his big mana claws feel pretty bad in extended combat. Well, you know, there is some other champions that also suffers from insanely high mana costs, and you know, as just saying. Just saying, by the way, you know the champion that one ability drains 130 mana, which is, I believe, the highest in the game at this point, or one of the highest. You know a champion that has a single ability that doesn't even do that much, costs more than freaking ultimate, because I do. Okay, Gragas. Q's AP scaling increased, cooldown decreased, E cooldown decreased. Are you kidding me? %? 1 second? Okay, at least late game it's still the same, at least. But I don't think that Gragas needed freaking huge buffs, man. Is he really weak now or something? I saw him yesterday, he was fine. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We can expect a lot of Gragas with these. These are not small buffs. These are pretty massive buffs. 10% scaling is a lot. And the cooldown lower as well. Like, this also means not only more damage, but more slows on this champ. And this means more stuns. It's going to be basically inconceivable to kill him early on with how much CC he's going to drop now. So, what's up, exposition? It's funny how Camille and Fiora dodged the nerf hammer yet again. You're choking me. Okay, we're going to get to that. W cooldown increased, bonus armor decreased. Okay, so finally, man. Gwen's been the most dominant top laner in Pro thanks to her high resilience, mobility, and damage. In particular, with longer fight durations, she's more often able to cast Howl Mist twice. Increasing the cooldown on her incredibly powerful teamfight tool. We're also reverting the E change room, which was giving him dash more uptime in fights than intended. So she lost the cooldown. You know, in a 1v1, this change does not matter one bit. This change, I'm assuming that obviously she doesn't use her W, she doesn't max her W, so this is going to be 8 less armor for her. So that is something. And she's going to have her E less often. Honestly, I don't understand why just this company can't do something right and nerf what's the problem, so freaking her insane damage. Is that really that complicated? Seriously. Is this like is it rocket science? I watched Tyler won first time Fiora yesterday in Diamond Master and beat the one-trick Riven in lane. It's Diamond Master and A. I mean, I first picked Trundle a couple times and I freaking stomped my enemy laners, and this is Masters Z West. So, you know. Irelia, so everyone saw that coming. They freaking gutted her per healing last patch, so that is something I was expecting. Kayn, hopefully the percent damage nerfed. Decreasing Dark Inform. Damage 65 AD plus 5 plus 5.5 per 100 bonus AD. Like 65 plus 5 plus 5. So they nerfed it by freaking a little bit. Dude, that is not enough, man. This is just cosmetical change. This is not enough, bro. Now NA isn't that bad. It's still... This region is twice... EU West is twice as big as NA. Like in Diamond Masters, it's probably still pretty garbage. Maybe in Grandmaster Challenger, maybe it gets better, but I don't know. I mean, it definitely gets better in GM Challenger, but like, yeah. So Kog'Maw also nerfs that everyone needed and everyone wanted. And this is not a lot, it's 2% armor magic pen with some attack speed. That's fine. Okay, this nerf is a little bit better. Okay. That's a little bit better, that's fine. But this nerf is just like, it doesn't do anything. Almost. Basically increased, the Q damage increased. Dude, like, I don't know, like, is it only my feeling that I look at the patch notes like, you know, every 3 or 4 patch notes for the last freaking 3 years, Lee Sin is getting buffed. Like, I just don't know, man. This champion is so often in patch notes. So freaking often, man. Lane Diamond Nasus Watcher, I demand you show respect for how great I am at the game. I mean, these are 5 damage on each rank. Same thing here, and 2 AD. I mean, it's not a huge, you know, thing, but no one plays him. Well, that's kind of the same as with Nasus. Unfortunately, they're not trying to make Nasus playable as they do with Lee Sin every 3 patches. Lilia, base health decreased, passive damage decreased. Okay, that's change we needed, absolutely. This will deal less. About, you know, it's not a big change because Lilia usually goes these weird freaking AP tankish builds. So the scaling, they should just flat out nerf the percent, like to 5% or something. That would have been better. This change does very little. Very little. Seriously. Master E got nerfed. Less health. Less health and less true damage. I'm fine with that, honestly. I'm not going to complain about this. Nunu. They shitted on Nunu really hard last patch, so now they're bringing it back a little bit. Yeah, basically. They for the most part they reverted the change. Oh, and they buffed his E like a lot. I don't know how impactful that's going to be, but that is insanely much. That is 4 seconds compared to 14 before at max rank. That is so much. That is 30% less, pretty much, cooldown needed. Massive amount. Okay, Olaf, this is an important one because it's kind of ridiculous that I was fighting Olaf 3 items versus my 3 items, and Olaf was basically almost beating me, or even beating me, like, unironically. This is just ridiculous. So let's see what they did to him. Passive maximum lifesteal value threshold increased. Q damage increased. Minimum recast time decreased. W cost increased rate. R passive armor decreased. Alright, so what do they do? I'm looking for numbers. So they nerfed the lifesteal, but he's going to get the max value a little bit faster, but they nerfed it, so that's fine. Let's just say that this is a small nerf. Undertow. What? They straight up buffed Undertow? Why? Why did they buff his damage? And the cooldown? Hard nerfed his late game? Okay, let's see. I'm looking for these hard nerfs, but I just can't find them. You know? They nerfed the late game resistances a little bit, but that doesn't matter because he uses it. When he uses his ult, he loses this part of resistances anyway, I believe. So they nerfed his W by 2 seconds late game, which almost doesn't matter. And they buffed him here? And that's it? Are they what? Okay, they nerfed this a little bit. Again, this change almost doesn't matter. It's 10 armor and magic resistance when he doesn't have his R up. Which is pretty much all the freaking time in teamfights now because it extends. So this change is freaking doo-doo. Now this, 2 seconds, big freaking deal. This is not even like ability that was giving him like, you know, that was making him broken at all. This doesn't matter. And here they nerfed his lifesteal by just a freaking tiny bit. And they freaking buffed his Q, and this is a big buff. What are they freaking doing? It's half a second more often. This is like a lot of cooldown there. Is this company actually freaking out of their minds? Like, why would you ever pick Nasus when this abomination exists? Or many others, for that fact. What? I can't focus, man. I was expecting some freaking massive nerfs, like, you know, like, I don't know, cutting his true damage in half or something. Maybe not in half, but... This is nothing! At all! What a joke, seriously. Like, in some cases, this unironically could be considered, forgetting these 3 changes, passive, W, and R, just the Q buff, in some circumstances, this could be considered a straight buff. Because this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter if he uses his W only once a team fight. And this is basically whatever. This is not existent, this change. It doesn't matter one bit. So under some circumstances, this is going to be a buff for Olaf. Unironically. What a joke. This patch looks pretty cool, but guys, we'll get to, you know, to other changes in a bit. I wonder what they did with items. That's what I'm curious about. Alright, Rakan Buffs. I don't know. There is one problem with Rakan, you know. When the Rakan is really strong, he's the best support in the game. That's the problem with this champion. He is absolutely absurd engage and escape ability. And great roam potential as well. So I don't know, man. If he was that weak that he deserves 2 seconds here, then freaking more healing here, then, you know... What? Okay, so he doesn't have mana cost anymore apparently too, because why would he? And extra shield as well, like, bro. That's the problem I have with Rakan. If he's strong, he's the best support in the game. In most of the team comps. Majority. Definitely in every team comp that needs a hard engage. Rengar, 35 health with oh, that is actually something. 20 seconds? It's not too bad. Some less health. It's not too shabby. Ryze E AP ratio increased. Hey, that's what I was missing. Freaking Ryze in mid lane, boys. So what they did? What did they do? Excuse me. Okay, so 5% AP ratio. That is not very much, but they buffed his mana cost by a lot. By a lot, dude. Like, if you felt like it was hard to, like, deal with Ryze with, you know, his infinite mana, well, he's going to have even more infinite mana now. I mean, it was possible before to Ryze to run out of mana for him before he was able to push us out of lane. It was possible, right? Right now, I don't see it. Because this is the ability that he spams the most. On ability that he spams the most, this is a massive freaking mana cost buff. Massive. This is equivalent of dropping Nasus E from 130 to 100 mana. That would be massive. That would be literally massive. So this is a lot. Samira Buffs? Okay. 0.3 AD plus Q buff. 5% AD ratio. I mean, not big buffs, definitely, but... I was kind of surprised. Passive miss rave drop rate for Senna minion kills increased. Q slow strength decreased. Thank you very much. Acceleration decreased early, now scales with ranks. Okay, so that is definitely good. Although it's not going to matter really late game, but you know, it's not as powerful as well, so that's fantastic. And this, well, she's going to have more stacks, I guess. These changes, I mean, she's going to scale harder. She's not going to slow you as badly, but you're not going to see a huge difference. But she's going to scale a lot. This change from 2 to 8%, that's quadrupled. What do you mean giving AD carry Senna more chances to collect missed raves? Oh, minions Senna kill. Okay. Senna kills. Okay. Swain, honestly, I don't care about this champ. I don't even know how it works. I need to read his abilities first. So, I'm just going to ignore this guy. I mean, you know, it seems like he got nerfed, so... You know, like, it's going to be Swain, but a little bit, you know, less problematic, I guess. W mana cost decreased, AP ratio for healing increased, cooldown decreased early, E cooldown decreased early. Yikes. Found himself unable to burst down opponents like he used to. Well, wasn't that the freaking point? We don't need to compensate him now, so he does that again. Do we, Riot? While his burst has been nerfed, we actually aren't planning on buffing it back to what it once was. Yeah, but we're going to freaking over-buff him somewhere else so that he's unkillable now, of course, right? Instead, we want to give back power in other meaningful ways. Alright, what do they do? So this 10 mana plus... Hey! More healing, freaking plus 40% AP ratio. Let's go, baby! What did I just say, man? Of course. And the cooldown early is lowered. Back to 6 seconds late game as well. And he will have more mobility now at all ranks. More mobility and more CC. I don't know, man. I mean, Sylas keeps on being my permaban. I mean, that doesn't change anything. I mean, as long as I'm mid lane, I'm permabanning this champion. Sorry, man. My apologies. And top lane, if I go top lane, I ban my GP. And this guy appears in top lane, then I guess I just freaking just don't play. Just freaking remake. Massive magic damage and hit increased for Kench. Q heal increased. Arch shield strength increased. Was he that weak? I need to talk to freaking Watley because he's crying on the stream so much. I'm just kidding. He doesn't. But man, does this champion really needed buffs, man? And look at this. This is absolutely disturbing amount of shield for rank 1. 650 shield rank 1. What? Dude, this is like 2 Qs from me. This is as much as 1 Q from Camille. Like, come on, guys. That's too much. So more shields and more healing. And more damage. Freaking A, man. Seriously. And more damage based on health on top of that. So they encourage even more the freaking full stone wall, freaking brick wall, excuse me, Kench build that's going to go full tank and still going to freaking do a lot of damage, and it's going to be completely unkillable because of his ability that he can jump over freaking walls and just escape easily. You know? And support is going to be stronger too. I don't know, man. You know, like, I always look at these buffs and I'm like, I don't know, man. And you know why? Because in comparison, I look at Nasus and I think to myself, I don't know if this champion looks worse than mine. You know, and that's every time, man. Every time they buff something, I don't think this champion looks worse than mine. Again. And it's just, you know, always the same thing. And they just keep on buffing them, but Nasus still stays freaking 10% win rate champ, right? Like, I just don't know. 10% win rate against people that know what they're doing. Otherwise, sure, he can have 50%, but... Base health decreased, passive updated, Q damage decreased. Some massive sweeping nerfs to, to Taliyah. I'm not going to read all of that. But damage and health decreased. Which is actually not great, because Taliyah is one of these champions that I would welcome in mid lane anytime. In top lane, whatever. Taliyah is not a champion that counters Nasus, so the more she is in the game, the better for me. And that means that probably she's gone. She's probably gone, because this is a pretty big... I mean, it's not a huge nerf, but it is a nerf. Rocks. Damage nerfed. Late game a little bit. Rocks nerfed. Taric. Q healing increased. Mana cost decreased and no longer increases with rank. E cooldown decreased, stun duration increased. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the new best support in the game. Nasus was 49, 69% diamond plus last patch. Seems balanced, no? Yeah, and then you keep in mind that he has zero ban rate in diamond plus. He has 0 pick rate, and this 49% win rate is basically his one tricks playing him almost exclusively. Keeping all these things in mind, 49% is abysmally low. According to Riot, that said in a post yesterday or 2 days ago, I believe, that it's fine if champion has 53% win rate, if something blah blah blah. Freaking A, man. 49% for one tricks almost exclusively with no ban rate, no pick rate is abysmally low, man. Look at Ryze win rate though. Ryze win rate is always low because you need to be good at him to. But if you're good at him, his freaking win rate skyrockets to freaking 90%. But if you're bad at him, you're going to have 10% win rate. That's how Ryze works. It's the same for other champions like Azir, for example, and many others. Irelia in a way. Alright, so what do? Q, heal per charge, increase to... Okay, so this is about 30% buff on the maximum health ratio. Overall, I don't know how much it's going to give him, but probably not that much. It's not like an insane thing, but his mana problems, if he ever had any, first of all, are gone. He's not gonna have mana problems anymore. Renekton win rate though? I don't even know what Renekton's win rate is, but you're not going to mention every champion in the game that has potentially lower win rate than Nasus, right? Right now. Because that would be... that would be a little bit messed up. Dazzle. Okay, dude. 2 seconds and more stun duration. Are you kidding me? Taric is the best champion in the game right now. Not gonna lie. Dude, this is going to be AoE stun with 6-second cooldown late game with 1.5 duration. Plus he heals for more now. Plus, he makes the entire team immune to damage. I don't know, 2 seconds or 2.5. I don't even know what his W is, because this already looks like a freaking broken champion. Even without his W, he already seems strong. Tank Taric top? I wouldn't be super surprised, bro. Like, just go tank top with Taric, build freaking Sunfire on him, plus give him freaking as much ability haste as possible, so that he gets his dazzle to freaking 5 seconds or something cooldown. Bro, champ seems broken, especially this E buff. That is ridiculous, but that is very good too for laning phase. But this buff is ridiculous. Seriously. Like, imagine if they buffed Wither duration to 6 seconds and decreased the cooldown to freaking 8 seconds or something. This is the magnitude of this buff. Like, that is absurd buff. 2 seconds is absurd at all ranks. And with duration at the same time, this is the biggest buff I've seen in I don't know how long. This E, this dazzle right here. See it dazzling? I hope so, because that is broken. Alright. Our cooldown decreased on Tryndamere, and more healing. I don't mind too much. I don't mind too much, to be honest. Tryndamere could be worse after the previous patch for sure. I don't think I've seen one Tryndamere, so Veigar base armor decreased and armor growth increased. E cooldown increased. Good. Because... Oh, but it's only increased early ranks. So, basically, these changes did almost freaking nothing at all. I mean, it's a very, 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 very small early game nerf. And I'll say that a couple more times. Very, 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 very. It will give us, when playing against Veigar, like more room to run him down potentially. That's 2 seconds, but that is a very little nerf. So, whatever. Wukong, again, like, I wish this company was just nerfing champions early, but late at the same time. This champion is too strong late game as well, guys. He is. Especially this ability, I would say. Like, this is freaking 7 seconds cooldown on this ability late game. And it lasts for, like, what, 3? That's not broken, right? Being invisible half of the time. Deceiving your opponents. Hope they nerf Death Dance, because if... Seriously, man, like, Death Dance with a combination of some of these abilities gives you almost virtually invincibility. As long as you know what you're doing. For real, man. Alright, hold on. And this change doesn't matter. It's going to be a little bit slower in the jungle, but who cares? Passive healing AD ratio increased, so they buffed Xin by a little bit. Not something I really cared too much about. Xin, honestly, in my opinion, was in a pretty good spot. Every time I saw Xin, he was doing work. So does he need buffs? I don't know. He might be meta now. Are these buffs big? 10, 10, so 10 damage at all ranks with 10% AD ratio and less mana cost. Okay, bro. And more healing as well. Okay, dude. He might be meta now. That is a lot. That is a lot. Hey, more Zeri damage. Hey, let's look at that. I mean, no, this is these changes right here is already way more text than Nasus' entire kit. So I'm done reading that. All I need to know, they freaking increased their damage, and that's all I need to know. It's freaking ridiculous. What do they do to jump? Oh, jump 4 seconds less cooldown. Like, okay, but she fair enough, fair enough. She needs to attack more now, though, to reduce the cooldown. So I think she's actually going to jump less now than before, which is... That's actually good. And they nerfed her attack speed buff, too. Oh, but she gets 8 stacks instead of 4 on champions. Wait, what? So they buffed it. As long as she's attacking champions, right? That is, I don't know. As long as she can jump less often, because she will jump less often. I guess, man. And that's it. These are all the changes. No changes to Fiora. No changes to GP. Nice. Is there like anyone else completely broken right now that should be on this list and it's not for some reason? Oh, there is. They should buff freaking Nasus. Alright, I mean, I guess, man. I'm not too excited about majority of these changes. The nerfs that these champions received are very, very minuscule. Very small. And the buffs usually were freaking massive. I think Rakan buff was pretty big. It's actually pretty freaking massive. So Rakan buff, Taric buff was freaking huge. Olaf did, I swear, man, Olaf did not even get nerfed. Darius nerf is highly needed emo? I don't think so. Darius is whatever. At least in my games. Mastery got nerfed a little bit, but like, dude. Kog'Maw a little bit. Okay. Kayn, this nerf doesn't do anything. Again. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. You know what? Maybe things will get better as we get into items. Maybe items will give us some hope. Alright, let's find out what they did with items. So Grievous Wounds, the change that I knew was coming. Like a couple days ago, I read about that somewhere. 25% reduced healing and 40% only reduced healing on the empowered Grievous Wounds. That is interesting. So what it does in reality is that... Well, Lethal Tempo, did they nerf that? I don't know yet, we didn't get there. So what that means is that building Bramble Vest, unless absolutely mandatory at this point. So imagine like playing without Grievous Wounds against freaking Sylas, Fiora, Volibear comp or something, right? You have to. You just have to buy this item. Other than that, what that means is that probably will not build this item anymore. Like seriously. Even against champions like Aatrox, like what is 25% gonna do to you? Just better rush Sunder as quick as possible at this point. 25% is really not a lot at this point. It's really not. But we might find ourselves in a situation when we'll have to build it in some games. And, you know, there's one change also. They buffed the damage on Bramble Vest by by freaking 1. You know, I don't know what to say about that, but these changes apply to all Grievous Wounds items below, as well as Grievous Wounds applied by abilities Katarina, Colette, Singed, Varus, and Ignite. Now, the Ignite nerf is absolutely fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Ignite is 40% now only, which is great. But I still think that Ignite is too broken. But, you know. So, Thornmail. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Is that a typo? Did they literally just... This is twice the amount of damage reflected. This is 20% bonus armor that you deal back to your opponents. How much armor do we get with Stoneplate and with our ult and like Thornmail? Like how much would we get? Like 400? Something like that? That is 100 magic damage back to everything that hits you. Of course, you know, it will get reduced by magic resistance and blah blah blah, but... Huh. I take it back and we might actually potentially buy this. If you stack enough armor, this is a shitload. I wonder what's the interaction though. This is really important. If someone buys, for example, Lord Dominic's or Cyrilda's, they penetrate your armor, but you still have full armor, so you still reflect the entire damage, right? I'm pretty sure that's how it works. %20 is just is a lot. It's a lot, dude. That is interesting. 10% before was kind of, you know, non-existent. 20% on the other hand, that is quite a lot. Rammus with Thornmail now, holy smokes, man, he's just going to be killing people by standing there and watching. But this is potentially decent in games where you can't get to your opponents at all, and they have like 280 carries shooting at you constantly from the back. Like before they kill you, they will deal to each other 1k magic damage each of them to themselves. You know, that is interesting. That is potentially interesting. That has. I thought that Bramble and Thornmail are just dead, but I mean, for the most part, Bramble is dead, but Thornmail, this is a massive buff. This is a massive buff, dude. Very interesting. This could potentially mean that, you know, it could be actually in late game builds, and it would be useful, right? Even though, yes, stats that Thornmail provides are very, very small, very low. But just for that, interesting, man. Okay, let's just go further at this point. Executioners, 5 AD. Okay, that's a lot of AD at this point, but fair enough. Passive sepsis, basic attacking a champion while they remain affected by grievous wounds. Okay, so they only need to okay, so that's honestly that's fine. Like 40%, like even if you're not going to get, you know, debuff there, you're going to get debuff somewhere else, so that doesn't matter. Chempunk Chainsword, 10 AD and 10 ability haste. 10 ability haste? Yo, let me see this item real fast. Lol. Chempunk Chainsword. Let me read the entire thing. So this is 55 AD now, 25 ability haste, 250 health. I was thinking for a second if this could potentially be useful for Nasus after these changes, but my conclusion is nah, probably not. Probably not. Better than Bramble? No, but we're comparing full items. We're not comparing Executioners versus Bramble. We're comparing Thornmail versus this. And I would say that Thornmail is freaking huge now. This is a lot freaking... You don't guys understand how much extra damage that is for just standing still. Dude, you're CC'd, you can't do anything, you're knocked up, and you're still doing damage to enemies. Fat damage. It's not like just a little bit. And keep in mind, we're in the meta for I don't know how many years, that people basically pick one AP champion per game, and that's all. Very rarely, too. But the second champion is usually just a support. So, you can imagine, and supports auto-attack you as well, often. So imagine how much freaking damage reflected is that going to be. Trust me, this is a lot, especially for a champion like Nasus Immobile that's just, you know, gets shit on face. So like, you know, that's one way to deal extra damage. They had to give Thornmail an incentive to build before it was just get Bramble and be fine. Exactly. I like this. I like this Thornmail. We need to stop talking about Thornmail because I talked about it for freaking 10 minutes. Oblivion Orb 5 AP minus 5, okay. 10, 50 minus 10, minus 10. You know, that my only problem is that all these freaking items are getting buffed when it comes to damage again. You know. Again, more freaking damage. And I'm not a big fan. More damage here, and guess what tank items received? Guess what? More damage. Yep. But, well, let's see. Mage items. We're turning AP mythics into a holistic approach to bring their power levels closer together. Particular Landry's and Riftmaker both went up with their Light Harvester. Okay. So, this plus 10 AP on the crown, straight up. I'm not a big enemy of crown. This item is fine. So, Everfrost nerfed. Yes! Let's go, baby! This freaking piece of shit of an item was definitely a huge problem for us. And now it's going to be a little bit, you know... I think this is a massive nerf. I think they will not even build that much anymore. Seriously. I don't think they will. Liandry's damage nerfed. Good. It's not a lot, but it's something. So this nerfed. Crown, on the other hand, buffed. Night Harvester, which I don't give a crap about, buffed. And the Riftmaker nerfed. These are very good changes for us. Very good changes. The only two items that shreds us the most and are the biggest problem, Everfrost and Liandry's, they're both nerfed. These three items that we don't give a crap about, well, we don't give a crap about them, so... But these two nerfs are, like, you know, the most important. These are good changes for Nasus overall. For the first time, I believe, in this patch notes. Well, except for Thornmail. That has potential. Tank item. Oh, okay, dude. Okay. Okay, dude. Tanks as a whole have been struggling after the durability update. What? Someone needs to freaking check prescription on their glasses, because tanks are struggling for freaking 4 years after durability update. Freaking A, man. This class is completely dead for as long as I remember, man. The hell are you talking about? Since everyone's gotten tankier, the tank class main advantage has been nerfed, relatively speaking, of course. Whereas they're already low damage, that's also not true, by the way, but is even less threatening than before. We're increasing the health on their mythics to form the foundation for higher resist on their primary legendaries, and buffing a few legendaries as well. So what do? Frostfire, 100 health. Sunfire, 100 health. Turbo Can Tank, 100 health. Classic Rito, boys. Hey, boys, we're going to slap 100 HP on these freaking bad boys. Boom! Have fun, fellas. Oh my goodness, man. This is not even an auto attack late game from AD carry, bro. What do you mean? And in the meantime, we're buffing damage here. So, what do you mean, man? Is that going to fix the problem? It's not. Abyssal Mask, 5, and... Okay, so that's a damage buff. Again. 10 ability haste on Night Swell. Oh, baby. Taric is just freaking wheezing right now. Oh my goodness. Randin's Omen, 10 armor. Spirit Visage, 10 magic resistance. And that's it. That is freaking it. Big freaking tank updates, bro. Seriously. I don't know, man. I mean, we have fighter items still, so let's see what they did to that. So DevDance and Mama Monotrees have been hot topics even before the Relevi update. We wanted to see a new land post update before touching them, and seeing that they are still too powerful, we're tapping down them a bit. A bit is right. When I see DevDance changes, I want to puke. That is basically 0. This item is untouched at all. It's not changed, guys. It is not changed. On the other hand, Borg fell off a bit. Borg fell off a bit! Though not quite as much as Sterex, so they're receiving buffs accordingly. Lastly, Gore Drinker needed a bit of a boost, so we're increasing... No! They buffed freaking Blade of the Broken King, man. Oh no. I was hoping they will freaking shit on this item, man. What are they freaking smoking crack up their ass? Come on, man! What is wrong with this company? You literally build Bork on a champion like Vigo, you freaking 3-tap people! I will freaking... I'll run out of water in a bit. I drank so much already. And I don't know, man. I'll need some medicine to go through this through these freaking patch notes, man. Is there a freaking doctor in the chat? Sweet lord, man. This change is freaking huge as well. Damn. Maw Morty is freaking unusable now. And what will Taric receive? 5% freaking shield, which they nerfed before. Hey, let's go. And more damage, because of course, you know, what patch would it be without more damage in majority of items? Gore Drinker, 7 ability haste per legendary. I can't, man. Like, the Gore Drinker will freaking provide 50 ability haste by itself. Late game, bro. Kraken Slayer? Oh, thank Lord. Has naturally gone up with extended combat times. We're tapping now. Okay, this is the first good change, honestly. This maybe not the first, but one of the few good changes I've seen this patch. This is a good change. They will just run all of them. They will just freaking run the item that gives you extra jump, right? Extra dash, but still, that is good. Sterix, I mean, you know, 5% is 5%. We take those, but I was expecting a little bit more. For example, if they removed the shield decay on Sterix, that would be something. The shield freaking decay, that is, you know, I don't know why they added, because it was fine without it. That would be something. But 5%, like, are you even going to see that? With how much damage they added here, are you even going to see that? No, you're not going to see that, guys. So, Umbral Glaive systems. First tower kind of slapped now. Okay, so outer turrets. Okay, so outer turrets. So basically toppling back to being in permanent danger zone, fellas. I mean, don't get me wrong. I died like once or twice or even 3 times since these changes because I just freaking got, you know, too much damage from turrets. So is this change bad? Yes and no. It's kind of, you know, middle ground change, I would say. We'll see. Okay, and that's it. Alright, man. It took us almost an hour, but we went through it. And I'll be honest, I'm not happy. I'm not happy, bro. Like, you know, like, trust me, guys, I have a lot, and I mean a lot of experience when it comes to League of Legends theory crafting. Not only League of Legends, but also when it comes to theory crafting. And I see instantly if the change is going to be good for Nasus or not. And I swear, I didn't see any good changes for Nasus, like a good patch for Nasus, in I don't know how long. I seriously don't remember when was the last good patch for Nasus. The previous one was more or less, but the previous one was good and really bad at the same time, so... Again, it was like middle ground patch.